Out of all the terrific video game series out there, my favorite's gotta be The Legend of Zelda. Between the great gameplay they have, the amazing atmospheres they create, and don't forget, those awesome dungeons and bosses that go with every single Zelda game, it's a series you have to try. So out of all the 18 Legend of Zelda games, I figured why not do a top 5 on my top 5 favorite Zelda games. I'm also doing this before Breath of the Wild comes out and completely screws up the list. And also, one thing to note, that the 5 games on this list will also be the 5 3D Zelda games. Now, it's not like I hate the 2D ones, I just think the 3D ones are much longer, much more diverse, and are simply more powerful because of the consoles that they came out on. So let's go. Number 5 is going to be The Legend of Zelda Windwaker. It came out on GameCube in 2002 and got remastered for the Wii U in I think 2013. Now this game has got to have one of the best stories in all the Zelda games. It starts off with you on this little island and your sister gets kidnapped by this big ass bird. So you do your best to try to hunt her down. You eventually save her and realize the pirate, named Tetra, who's been helping you this entire time, is actually Princess Zelda. Then once all that's figured out, you get the Master Sword, realize you have to upgrade it, you go to different temples, bring different sages to it. Overall, it's quite the adventure. And to go with that, the entire world is essentially a giant ocean with a bunch of islands to explore. That itself becomes a great adventure of all the treasures you can find in the ocean, all the activities to go on each island. It's really quite the game they made. Now they do have a few negatives about it too. One that's not negative to me is the cartoony style of this game. Sure, I mean it's not as realistic as other games, but to be honest, for this game, I think the cartoon style works out very well. And also, while there's a lot to explore, it takes some time to explore. You know, certainly going back and forth between island and island can take some time. It's a real problem when you come across collecting all the pearls and dropping them at the respective islands, or trying to collect all the Triforce charts. It just takes a lot of time. Sure, the HD version has the fast sale, which sped it up, but I'm not going to use that in this list, as the true game is the one for the GameCube. And also, each of the dungeons, while they're really neat, they feature an escort mission. I'm not really sure why all of them had to do so. It's a bit of a nuisance in my opinion. And look at this, Bentley won't even talk to me anymore. I mean, we suffered through a lot, Bentley, come on now. Number 4 is going to be The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Came out for the N64, was also remastered for 3D for the 3DS a few years ago. Now, if you're looking for the game with the best side quests, it's probably going to be Majora's Mask. Most of those side quests have to do with collecting different masks throughout the game. A huge thing that goes with the game is when Link puts on a mask, he transforms into whatever that mask is, whether it could be a Deku, or Goron, and Zora. It's actually a really neat little gimmick they included in the game. One of the bigger issues though is it's a pretty short story. There's only really 4 levels you go to, and all the dungeons, you know, everything just feels like it doesn't take that long. So sure, this game's all about the side quests, but if you look at the main story and evaluate on that, which I personally think is of higher criteria, it doesn't hold up to some of the other games. And while a lot of people love the 3-day cycle, I could give or take it. I don't feel like it allows the maximum exploration in the game because you constantly have to go back in time and restart everything all over again. It's a neat gimmick, but not my favorite. I was going to say, I feel like everything in this game is just plain odd. I don't really have to say anything else. The word odd just kind of sums up this game pretty well. Number 3 is going to be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Came out for the Nintendo GameCube and Wii, I believe in 2006, and then got remastered in HD for the Wii U back in 2016. When they made this game, they had one goal in mind, that was to pretty much recreate Ocarina of Time, and in doing so, they created a pretty standard Zelda game. It's got a lot of fun levels, a lot of great exploration you can do, some terrific dungeons. They do have a lot of great dungeons in this game, something that I think gets very much overlooked. And overall, it is pretty fun. One of the bigger issues though is it is a pretty big world and there's really not much to do in it. Like sure, you have Hyrule Field being as big as possible, but at the end of the day there's just a few heart pieces collected and a few pole souls collected in each area. There's not that much. And also, I'm not a big fan of the wolf mode. I mean, it's neat, but it's not as fun as just playing as a regular Link. At number 2, I'm going to go with the most recent 3D Zelda game, Skyward Sword. Now recently I think this game's got a lot of crap for numerous things, like one being you can't really explore all that much. The game's more constricted to the levels they created. Sure, I think the Wii Motion Plus is a little too pushed in this game. It's not really that necessary. And also I understand that Fee is annoying as hell, especially when she tells you that your batteries are low in your controller for absolutely no reason at all. But if you do ignore those parts of the game, you realize that the levels they created are really freaking fun. The dungeons are terrific, the boss fights are really fun. The levels essentially before the dungeons are just dungeons themselves. It's actually pretty awesome. They also add in a lot of nice little RPG elements like upgrading your weapons and utilizing your pouch to as efficient as possible. A big thing too, in this entire game, for how long it is, the only part that really annoyed me was the imprisoned part. And for like a 40-hour game or something, that's saying something. Should be no surprise at this point that number 1 is Ocarina of Time. I've said I think for the rest of my entire life that Ocarina of Time has been my favorite game ever. It is a very complete game. There's fun around every single corner, a great story, some great worlds to explore, terrific dungeons, amazing bosses. I really can't think of a giant negative with this game. The side quests are fun, great things to collect. All I can do is just rave on and on about this game. Now maybe I'm blind by the nostalgia. It is the oldest game out of the 5 I put on this list. But I just feel like everything's so complete. Everything just feels so enjoyable. Everything is just so much amazing to explore. Damn, I just love this game. But as simple as that. So that's it for this list. Hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, if you don't agree with it, sorry. That's it. See ya.